Hello, it's Saturday. It's 6 p.m. in Sweden. It is noonish in the United States, and it's probably already tomorrow in Australia. But that doesn't really matter because we all know Australia does not exist. We are in day 4. It's part 2. We have been through about 2/3 of day 4. The prosecutor is angry as always. There has been we managed to get through Jodi's boyfriend, Lurch, who were the fingerprint guy, and the medical examiner girl, who was on for the 3rd time showing bloody things. Now, as you might know already, if you saw the thumbnail, that David has prior engagements. His stepdaughter is graduating, so he's busy. But we got ourselves quite a replacement, and I'm sure you've seen her before, and she's known for one thing, but she should be known for a lot more. Let's say hello to Natalie Wisco.
Good morning. Well, it's morning here. Good evening for you.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm a little tired. I stayed up a little bit too late for me on Jeff's stream last night because my animals always wake me up regularly at 6:30 in the morning to be fed. So, I'm a little tie, but I'm in good spirits.
That's great, because sometimes this trial can goes from boring to shouty to showing bloody things to autopsy. Stuff happens, and it's good to have you here as well, because I'm not in criminal law. I'm in labor law, and it's very rarely. Well, in accidents, yes, I come across blood, gore, stuff like that, sadly, but not at a criminal level, so to speak, only an accident level. And the chat is saying hello to mostly you.
Good morning.
Of course. And here is the person with the best chat name. It's Janitals, who missed the last stream. And but it has been mostly foundational, getting things into evidence, but still there's been a few objections. The defense so far, because I know a bit about what happened to the prosecutor and the defense afterwards, but so far it's a bit of a standard trial, so to speak. Not much shenanigans so far. A bit of legal, maybe shenanigans, so to speak. Not at the level that a judge has to, cool it, but yeah. So I'm very happy that you are here to help guide us through this.
Thanks. Excited to be here.
Yeah. Was Chandler wasted? We all were. I was not sober last night. Or this morning, to be more accurate, my time.
I was going to say, you got done at like 6 a.m. So
yeah, around 6 a.m. Sun was up and everything, and my cat wanted food, and so it was continuing with the day. But here we are, and what do you say? Should we go right into it and see what is going on?
Sure.
Yeah. So there she is, the star of the show. This is quite funny because she and her attorney, almost same hair, almost same clothes. So every time, can you point out Miss Aries? They actually have to be very specific because they. Have you seen that before, that the lawyers dress exactly the same as the defendant?
Well, I don't think it's usually as obvious because trials usually aren't this long. This is a very long trial. So the fact that they keep doing it makes it seem more like it's intentional. Most people on a regular basis. You know, a trial is going to last maybe a couple days. And a lot of that, you know, has to do with just the intensity, severity of the case. So, I mean, most of the time it's not a big deal because yeah, but this I think is obviously intentional.
But let's see what they have to say. The break on Tuesday was right around here. So I will just press play. Then I have to quickly get to my nicotine pouches before So I'll just play and see what's going on.
Finish putting that away, okay?
Okay, unpacking or packing.
What size?
This is marked an M for medium.
How about the other white T-shirt that was there?
That is marked L, large.
Ma'am, you also were asking, or you were asked about who collected the biological evidence at the scene. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
With regard to
This is a rebuttal
looking at the photograph, exhibit 140, the
of
fingerprint.
examination.
Objection, Your Honor, this is going to go across. I asked her about the collection in the washing machine.
I think he was asking her about the collection at the scene and how it was done. That's what he asked her.
Council approach.
We went right into. Yeah, this is also probably quite normal prosecution in a rebuttal after cross-examination tries to get additional things in.
Oh, yeah.
So let's skip ahead and see. Okay, that was. Yeah, here we go.
Ma'am, with regard to the collection of any biological substances at the scene, did you do that?
Yes, I did.
With regard to this photograph involving the palm print number 140, did you collect or check this area for biological substances?
This particular area, the piece of wall containing the print was cut out, and there was testing performed after the fact, but not at the scene.
Okay, so it wasn't done at the scene, it was done somewhere else.
That's correct.
And you didn't do that though, right?
I did not.
I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Nermi,
I have no question.
any questions? Looks like we do have a question from the juror.
Oh, I like
Any other
this
questions
jury
from the jury
questions.
for this witness? Council, please approach.
Say in Wisconsin, there's always the theoretical opportunity to do that, but it, you know, is something that before trial, the court asks the judges, the attorneys about things like that. You know, and I've never been in one where it was actually requested and granted.
Well, for visual, for streaming, that's quite interesting because you can always, not always, but you can almost see by the questions what way is the jury leaning.
Yeah.
And in this, in almost every case I've seen jury submitting questions, the judge reads it, shows it to the both sides, and then if it's deemed
if it's
somewhat-
an appropriate question, yeah. Because they frequently do ask inappropriate questions, which is one of the reasons why a lot of times it's not allowed, and a lot of judges don't like it, is because it can really lead to like mini trials, a trial within a trial, them focusing on something that related track isn't relevant, is kind of, the principle behind not having it. Why wouldn't we want them to ask questions? Because it might not be about
Ms.
something
Connor,
that
the jurors have some questions.
and if it's not about something that matters, it can really lead to going down a rabbit hole of other irrelevant things that take away from the actual issue in the case. That's really what it is it has to do with actually focusing on the issue. If you bring up too many questions, you can bring up other legal issues and things like that can also interfere with the strategy that you have developed, your trial strategy.
Mo has one answer. Yeah. What was that a comedian says? Imagine how stupid your friends are.
Yeah.
And most and half are more stupid. So let's go back 5 seconds so we can hear the question.
Ms. Connor, the jurors have some questions for you. Why was the towel not tested for bleaching?
I don't know of any testing that we could perform at the crime lab that would test for bleach, but I don't work in the other units. I don't know the answer to that question.
Was there a wrist or neck strap on the camera in the washing machine?
Would it be possible to see the photograph of the item that we've seen prior?
Mr. Martinez?
Don't breathe and drink coffee at the same time. General advice.
Exhibit 11. Exhibit 12. Exhibit 13.
Well, apparently he didn't.
Exhibit 14. Exhibit 15. And Exhibit 16.
It does not appear that there is a strap on that camera.
Is every inch of all surfaces tested for prints?
No, it is not.
How are decisions made to test or not test a given area? For example, were the walls dusted from floor to ceiling?
The walls were not dusted from floor to ceiling. A determination is made based on training and experience of the latent examiners and crime scene investigators that are at the scene regarding what areas will be processed for latent prints. In this case, along the hallway walls, for example, there was a wide swath of the wall that was tested. I would estimate from knee height to approximately neck, chest level, the areas that would most likely be touched with regular handling or movement around the house. It's not feasible for us to be able to process every inch of the house from floor to ceiling. So we examine the scene and determine what areas are going to be the most probative and likely to yield latent prints.
What type of key is needed to unlock the master bedroom door?
I don't know that.
Was the knife that was used in this crime recovered at the scene?
I don't know that either. There were knives that were collected from the scene. I cannot speak to whether or not they were involved.
Follow up from the state.
Thank you.
Looks like we have an additional question. Counsel, please approach.
And yes, questions also are a big part of time management too. That is another thing as well. Somebody mentioned that in the comments. And part of it is time management, and also you want to focus on, like I said, strategy. There are certain things you want to focus on with different witnesses in different ways, and it can, detract the focus as it's kind of, done here.
Yeah. And a little bit of a housekeeping. If you find this interesting, then go for the
Ms. Connor,
chat.
how long will a print last on a surface?
I'll just make like, subscribe to both me and David. If you have social media and think more people should watch this, feel free to share the link to either mine or David's stream. And of course, memberships, much appreciated. Super chats also much appreciated. It helps running both mine and David's channel. So it won't get to a loss. And or just if you appreciate us, so it will be much appreciated. So that was a bit of housekeeping. Now we can.
Ms. Connor, how long will a print last on a surface if it is not washed or disturbed?
The answer is possibly indefinitely. There is no way to date a latent impression. You can consider things such as the date of manufacture of an item, such as a soda can. Obviously, the print could not have been left before the soda can was made or created. In the same regard, if you have a window, for example, and it's been washed, you can assume in some cases that any prints that are on that would be since the last washing, if the washing was very thorough. Depending on the type of residue that leaves that print, it can last for a very long time.
Weather conditions
follow-up,
and stuff
State?
like that also.
With regard to when a fingerprint is left behind, if somebody says, for example, hypothetically, I was there on June 4th, whatever year, and I killed this individual, and I hadn't been there before that, since before May, and I haven't been there since then, would you be able to date that fingerprint?
No, I don't have any locals. I have
I am
an
not able to
account
date
on
any
Rumble, but I
fingerprint.
don't have
You tell us
anything
what
there.
was left, given the other information. You used the example of
Morning,
soda.
Farrell.
Would you be able to date it or not date it, or tell us when it was left in that hypothetical?
Will you repeat the hypothetical, please?
Hypothetical is, have a killing, and you have an individual who says, I did the killing on June 4th. And they haven't been there for months, and they haven't been there in months after that. With regard to a fingerprint, let's say that's collected from a wall, would you then be able to say, well, I believe, based on the fact that I found the fingerprint and other information, my opinion is the fingerprint was left on such and such a date, in that hypothetical of June 4th?
It depends on other circumstances within the case. If I have information regarding what potential type of residue or substance a print is left, and there's enough information, I may be able to guess.
Assume that you have the information that's left behind with regard to Exhibit 140. Assume that's the information you have.
The latent impression that was called 169A when it was compared, or impression AD, was developed with a chemical that we use in certain situations where we believe there may have been a print that is left in blood, for example. Because it does not react with the normal constituents of fingerprint residue, it's possible to draw some conclusion, but I still wouldn't be able to give you an exact dating of a print.
What conclusions can you draw?
Object, Your Honor, this goes beyond the scope of the question.
Overruled.
This particular chemical was used to process that area of the wall because we saw a great deal of red stain, because I saw a great deal of red staining in that area. my belief that it was possible that there could be a print on the wall that could be in a biological substance such as blood. I used this chemical because of that, with the belief that if any prints were developed with the chemical, they may have been left at the time of the crime.
I don't have anything else.
Mr. Nurmi? Any other questions from the jury?
He looks like a normie.
Thank you. You may step down.
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, his last name is Nurmi. I said he looks like a normie. Normie.
Yeah. This witness, I have the notion she is mostly neutral. She does not want to make either for the defense or the prosecution. She's there for facts. And I've seen a few trials now in these 6 months I've been streaming that is not the case.
Absolutely. So
Yeah, and
somebody who's forensic should be very detached. Is that your job there is to talk about the science. You're not supposed to feel any way, particularly either side.
And I had this up yesterday about, for instance, why does the defense experts cost so much? Well, it's because they have to balance the state's experts. And the states have entire buildings filled with people employed just to examine and convict people. So you have to counteract that. And there are not that many experts on that level you can use. And therefore, they are sought after, and therefore, they are expensive. So, yeah. But I like this forensic expert because she was fairly neutral. Even in the hypotheticals, she stayed fairly neutral. So, let's see.
Martinez?
The state calls Esteban Flores to the stand.
Detective, you are still under oath. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Your name, please?
Esteban Flores.
You're the person who was previously testified in this case, right?
Yes.
You're the case agent, right?
Yes.
And previously, we discussed a conversation that you had with the defendant telephonically on June 10th of 2008, correct?
Yes.
Did you also have a conversation with her after that?
Yes, I did.
Did you have a conversation with her on June 25, 2008?
Yes, I did.
That would have been approximately 2 weeks later, correct?
Correct.
What was the purpose of this second call?
Follow-up questions, and we had gone through with the investigation, and more information had come in at that point.
And did you initiate this call, or was this also in response to her calling you?
I don't remember exactly, but I remember her calling me a few times, and I was trying to get a hold of her as
It's
well.
normal speed.
Along with calling other people at that time.
Was this tape recorded?
Yes, it was.
And during this conversation, did you have more pointed questions about her relationship with Mr. Alexander?
Yes, I wanted to clarify their relationship.
This is the Jodi Arias-trial from 2013. It went on for a month and a half, almost 2 months, this
Maybe
trial.
10 weeks or something.
Yeah. And gory details, few autopsy photos has been in view. We have still yet to see the pictures of Jodi Arias. Parts of her body was entered into evidence via photo, so to speak, and we still haven't arrived there.
Well, and she does this really weird interview where she like sings Christmas songs to herself. So the police interview, it's very strange. She's in like an interrogation room by herself. She starts like singing Silent Night, I think, or something to herself. It's very strange.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what might happen if you choose to take the stand as defendant. Okay, what are we waiting for? He's looking for his adult clothing.
He needed his purse. Mouse. Right.
She's not bad looking.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have about 2 or 3 minutes here. If you would like to stand and stretch, you are welcome to do so.
Okay.
Yes,
Sir, with regard to how they met, did you address that issue with her on June 25, 2008?
yes, I did.
Show you exhibit number 310 for purposes of record keeping. This is clip number 8.
Yes,
And you've seen it before we came here today, correct?
yes, I did.
Move for the admission of exhibit number 310.
Judge, I'm still reviewing the excerpt, so it'll take a moment.
Yes, you may take a moment.
And we have a few people in the chat who honestly believe they can save Jodi Arias.
Jodi Arias is the only person who can fix herself.
Mm.
So, and also, this was like a decade ago, so it's a little too late.
Yeah. But David did find a quite recent photo, and she has aged well. Just saying. She was 32 at this time, so she's just over 40. And 10 years in the slammer usually doesn't do anybody good, but she's still aged well. So good for her. Yeah, most of her ex-boyfriends are alive. I mean, and David ordered some of her prison art.
Yes, I've seen that.
Mm. Yeah, with her legs closed. So that's interesting. Okay.
Exhibit 310 is admitted.
How long did you guys actually know each other?
We met in September of 2006 at the MGM Grand.
2006.
Yeah, and that was the pre-legal international convention
Okay.
where tens of thousands of people go.
And when did you guys actually start dating?
Not for a while. We met in September. The following weekend, he invited me to church. And the following Wednesday of that Sunday, he gave me a copy of the Book of Mormon. I started reading it. I got baptized November 26th. We would talk a lot and hang out a lot. And we kind of had like a thing, and there was definitely an attraction and an interest, but we weren't officially dating until about February of 2007. Early February, I'd say. And I think it just a string of events sort of pushed that together. Travis has kind of a commitment phobia, I would guess you could say.
Yeah, I'm impressed by the sound. This is 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
recent trials has been horrible.
Discuss
Yep.
the breakup.
Yes.
Going to show you exhibit 309, clip number 9. And is that the one that discusses that?
Yes.
This conversation was quite lengthy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Was it approximately an hour and 45 minutes?
Right about that.
I wrote for the addition of exhibit 309.
Oh, good.
309 is admitted.
It seems like YouTube yet again has not sent out any notification, because I see the numbers are climbing a bit now. And that's 30 minutes after we started the stream. So YouTube really needs to get their crap together.
Is that when you moved down here?
No, I didn't move down actually until June, which was right about the time we broke up, ironically.
She went down in June of 2007, and you guys broke up soon after.
Yeah, we broke up right about the same time.
Did you also ask her about the reason for the breakup?
Yes, I did.
Take a look at exhibit number 296, which is clip 22.
Yes.
Is that it? Move for the admission of that exhibit to clip 22.
296 is admitted.
So this is apparently one of these parts of a trial that gets quite boring. But you never know what's going to be spoken about in this recording.
I've been in relationships before where the other guy wasn't faithful, and there's like a distinctive gut feeling that you just have, and that I've noticed, and because I've been in relationships where they were faithful, at least to my knowledge, they were totally faithful, and that feeling just isn't there. And so I had this feeling with Travis, and I gently asked him about it. He got really upset, and he's like, no, there's nothing there, don't worry about it. And I knew he was on his phone texting a lot, and I knew he was texting these girls, and I was like, well, what about your text messages? He's like, look, I can be flirtatious, but there's nothing going on. And I said, okay. So this was last year, I think in June. And one day he was taking a nap. And I felt, this is where we lost. This is one of the reasons we lost all of our trust. I shouldn't have done this, but I grabbed his phone and I looked at his text messages. And I found there were tons of girls that I'd never heard of. And I knew that he knew a lot of people from the business, so I didn't worry too much about it. But what bothered me was there were, not only were some flirtatious like I had suspected, which bothered me, but it wasn't necessarily a crime. But there were plenty of, there were like plans, like things like, well, where do you want to meet? Oh, well, I don't know, wherever the best place for us to make out is, And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, we've been dating for a few months at this point. And he always said, well, we're not dating anybody else. And to him, that was, I think, reasonable enough. Because I think in his mind, he was making out with other girls, but he wasn't dating them, was okay. And the only reason I think that's true is because of what we continued to do while he was dating Lisa, and I didn't realize that either. So I confronted him about it. Actually, I didn't confront him at first. I should have been an adult about it and confronted him, but I held it in for a few weeks, and then it all came out. And that's when we broke up. And so I just realized
You and me both.
I didn't feel like I could trust him fully to be monogamous, and I don't think that he could trust me fully to not get back in his phone someday and then try to find something out. So.
After she moved here to Mesa
They were more
guys after the break.
Gotta remember that.
Did you ask her
Yeah, Mormons are a special breed.
Yes.
believe
And
she
they
was
also were in
waitressing.
like an MLM, so you know,
With
Odd
her
jobs.
in the, did you discuss it with her on the tape?
Yes.
Take a look at Exhibit 308, it's clip number 10. And did you review it before coming to court?
Yes, clip 10.
And is this the one that deals with this issue about what she did when she moved to Mesa?
Yes.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 308 on number 10.
Objection.
308 submitted.
have you heard any testimony yet about how she broke into his house through the doggy door several times?
It has been insinuated, but yeah.
Work and
I guess I figured, you know, like Mesa is like the Mormon land of opportunity, honestly. It's kind of the way I look at it.
And with regard to what she did,
No, it's actually MLM, but that was the joke.
Yeah. He was in a multi-level marketing that lawyer something. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but you pay, and then if you get into trouble, you get legal aid. It's insurance multi-level marketing of sorts that gets you legal advice. That's about what I know.
during the time she was here,
Prepaid legal.
and came out here
Yeah.
in June until April, until she moved, did you and she discuss
Thank you.
what she did then?
Yes.
Take a look at Exhibit 306, clip number 12, and does that clip describe that portion of the conversation?
Yes.
Move for the admission of Exhibit 306, clip number 12.
306 is admitted.
Is this fairly normal to just use snippets of the recording and then have the entire recording entered into evidence?
Frequently, yeah, that is not something that would ever be played back to the jury, though. The portions that weren't already played to the jury, because for a rule of completeness, they frequently do admit the entire thing, especially before. And this is also, you have to remember, technology at the time.
Until April or so, I think you left.
Yeah, I hung around. I was in the University 6th Ward, went there. He was in his Desert Ridge Ward, and we didn't live that far apart. So, I mean, I was over there a lot. Not a lot, because he had his own social circle from his church that I didn't really want to interact with because I sensed that maybe there was a little bit of awkwardness there because of Lisa and because of Elena. And
Oh, that's right. You dated Lisa right after that.
During the time that they were broken up between June and April, did you then also talk to her about the type of relationship that they had?
Yes.
Take a look at exhibits number 305, which is clip 13, and exhibit 312, which is clip number 5. Did you listen to these before you came, and does that describe their relationship while they were broken up?
Yes.
I move for the admission of exhibits 305 and 312.
Objection.
Exhibit 305 and 312 is admitted.
Mods are more than welcome to unionize because I don't pay you. I haven't hired you. You were appointed. Just kidding. I have to send Gigi something. She was my first mod, and so I have to send her something.
Yeah, we did. We dated last year.
We're kind of just still really good friends, but not, romantically seeing each other anymore.
Not exactly. We broke up last. Yeah, and I would say there was certainly a romantic side to it, you could say, or an intimate side to it. But we weren't exactly on the path to marriage, anything like that, and we both knew that.
It's interesting. More or less, this trial might not have happened if she just had the presence to take the camera with her. Instead, she left it in the washing machine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think they probably would have.
Some unpleasant stuff to
Yeah.
say about you.
All of her friends,
And I don't know
Travis's
why.
friends,
I
knew
talked
she
to
was
you
crazy.
in
I think she
person.
probably still would have been accused.
They're
But
Yeah.
just saying that you were kind of obsessive after the breakup and
wouldn't have been as
things like
big of
that.
a
But
media
what
thing.
was going
I
on
realized-
to make them think that?
The only thing I can think of, and I realize that, is because I was at his house a lot. But I didn't go to his house unless I was invited over, unless he knew I was coming over. He would send me text messages late at night saying, "Hey, I'm getting sleepy, ... This is these, ... And that was that became like my cue. That became like our code word for, I'm falling asleep, you can come over now and sneak into my room and wake me up kind of thing. And so that would happen a lot. And
I mean, I don't want to make this unpleasant or anything, but I mean, was there still a sexual relationship going on after that?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah,
Did you
friends
guys
with
discuss-
benefits,
You've been out there since
I guess,
breakup in June. Did you discuss her leaving
or a booty call,
April,
more or less.
the last time that she was at victim's house, where she indicated how long it had been?
Yes.
And take a look at exhibit number 304, that's clip number 14. Did you review it before you came here, and is that what this is, what it indicates?
Yes.
I move for the admission of exhibit number 304.
304 is admitted.
Yeah, but DNA in itself isn't more evidence more than she were there at some point. And if they were hooking up, then it's explained.
At his house was in April when you left?
Yeah, it was April. I spent, my friend Rachel that I originally moved down with gave me a futon to sleep on, and I gave that back. About a week and a half prior to moving, her and her husband came out with his truck and they loaded it up because they were just lending it to me and I didn't want to move it. So they came and got it and I didn't have a bed. And he was like, you just come stay with me. So I pretty much stayed there for the last week.
His roommate said something about the last day you had a U-Haul and you were leaving and you had stopped by to say goodbye or something.
Yeah, I had the U-Haul and I was already there, but I parked it around the corner because it was huge and I had my car on the back of it, so I couldn't just park it right out in front of his house. So there's a little, if you go just past his house around the corner, I had the U-Haul parked there. It's like,
So
yeah.
Do you remember what day, April, that was?
I don't. I want to say I keep thinking the 9th, but before you quote me on that, I can check.
But towards the beginning of April. Sometime.
Yeah, it was like more towards the middle, but it was maybe towards the beginning. Yeah, because originally I was supposed to leave early April, like April 1st, like a little after April Fool's, but I ended up staying another 4 or 5 days. Because it was like.
Stay there with him or someone
Yeah.
else? Okay.
Yeah, with him.
Did you then discuss with her the purchase by Mr. Alexander of the camera.
Yes, I did.
And does Exhibit 302, Clip 16, Exhibit 301, Clip 17 deal with the purchase of the camera and her role in that purchase?
Yes.
I move for the admission of Exhibits 301 and 302.
301 and 302 are admitted.
Mm.
302.
Yeah, people are in different chat.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Actually, he had just purchased a camera.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, we found the box in his house and everything.
Yeah, he,
Did you help him buy that, or?
I did. Yeah, I was living here, but he called me for advice,
Yeah,
and I was on the phone with him.
that's who I
I don't
saw
remember.
somebody who knew what they were doing before I bought a camera.
Yeah, and I guess since I'm a photographer, he texted me and he was like, "What do you think of this camera?" And I texted back, "Well, what about this?" And finally I was like, "Just call me. This is too complicated." So he called me and he was going over. I was like, "Ask for this." And so he was asking the sales rep, "Well, what about this, this, and this? And where's the flash located, and megapixels, and the brand?" And I was like, "Don't get anything Kodak, just different things." So eventually he settled on. I don't remember what he got, but it sounded like it was a really nice camera.
well, yeah.
And Exhibit 301.
Do you remember when you bought that camera?
April, maybe? I know it was after I moved. It could have been in May. Could have been in May. I know it was after I moved up here because I was here while I was on the phone with him purchasing
So
it.
you never got to see the camera then or anything?
No, and I'm trying to remember.
Well,
Maybe.
the reason I'm asking is because we found this camera and it's pretty much ruined and we didn't know why.
Oh,
I can't, discuss why, but, or how it's ruined, but we're just dumbfounded. We have no idea why somebody would, destroy this camera. And I wonder if you could describe it to me, but obviously you haven't seen it. You've never touched it, never seen it. So.
no. I'm thinking there's a picture of him on Facebook where he took a picture of himself in the mirror, and I think that's his camera. So, I mean, I can't tell what it is though because the picture isn't really sharp and it's a small resolution. But there's a picture of him on his profile picture on Facebook where he's on his lip.
In terms of the June 2nd, 2008 trip, did you then try to talk to her about that and the trip as it began and where she was on Tuesday night, who she spoke with, as well as whether or not she talked to Mr. Alexander on that Tuesday night? Did you discuss that with her?
Yes, I did.
Showing you exhibits 313, 316, and 299, which are clips 4, 1, and 19 respectively. Are those the clips where you discuss this issue of the trip and the contact with the victim?
Yes.
Yeah.
For the admission of exhibits
CD
13,
manufacturers was making a killing out of this trial.
No objection.
313, 316, and 299 are admitted.
Oh, I see a pet.
Oh, yes, this is Buddy the pug.
Ah. Oh, cute doggy. Cute doggy.
He's very needy, so he's kind of half sitting on my lap.
Aw.
And if
Well,
you hear random pug noises and snorts,
listen to exhibit 316 first.
once I retire, I'm going to get myself a dog, but I can't because I'm away too much. So
Well,
it's not possible.
the only reason I'm able to have one is because I live with someone else. No, it's too much work, and because they need attention.
Mm. Yeah, but this farm needs a dog. It does, and I've plenty of spaces
Jodi
for
Arias.
a dog to run around.
It's
And
6:25:08 at 11:05 hours. DR 2008 161 0844.
hello.
Yeah, you should let the chat name your dog though when you get one.
Yeah, we are talking at least 5 years
Hello.
into the future. So,
Hi, second floor.
well,
Hey, how are you?
unless I get Nick Ricada numbers, yeah, then I should retire earlier.
I'm sorry, it's got bad reception.
Is this a good time for you to talk?
I'm sorry, this is fine. I'm just driving through a spot where I'm good.
Okay, sorry. Cut you driving. Hope I don't distract
No,
you too much.
That's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, reason I wanted to talk to you is just to kind of figure out what was going on the week just prior to when we found Travis, because we're still not sure what day this incident happened. We're trying to figure out who had contact with them, and I know I talked to you a couple weeks ago about what was going on, but it was kind of brief, and I was just trying to get to everybody who had a theory or whatever. But can you tell me what was going on? Let's just say starting on Monday, I think it was the 2nd.
Monday the 2nd.
Tell me if you or when you had contact with them or the last.
Yeah, I know that I talked to him early Monday morning, which I was just up late Sunday night, for example, and I probably talked to him. It may have been a good 45 minutes that morning, and we were just talking about how he had a conversation with another person about Gordon Hinckley, and it was a really good conversation. And he was just talking a lot about what was said there, and I think we probably talked till about 4 a.m, I'd say.
Wow.
But yeah, he was a night owl, I'm a night owl, and it wasn't a really long conversation. Like, we've had conversations that have lasted hours and hours, but this one was probably only, I want to say 45 minutes. It may have been longer. I guess I could check.
And that was late at night?
Well, technically it was early Monday morning.
Okay.
That was in the 2nd. So, that was primarily what that one consisted of. And, he knew I was taking a road trip that week, and he was kind of guilting me because I wasn't going to Arizona. I was going to Utah.
Why was
in a
there
nice way.
a conference or something in Arizona as well? Or?
It was, the primary reason, and I didn't tell Travis this, but the primary reason I was going there was to meet somebody. And we weren't like totally open about our dating lives, just because it was just an area where we just kind of decided it would be best to not give each other all those details. And so, just because we had a past from before, and we kept each other like moderately informed. Like, he told me a little bit about this person, a little bit about this person, but we didn't go into a lot of details. So I didn't tell him that I was making this big trip out to Utah to go see somebody. I think he suspected it, though. He was just like, well, who are you going out there to see? And I'm like, oh, nobody. I'm just going out, to see friends. And because we both have a mutual circle of friends in Utah, from Prepay Legal. So I told him that was the reason I was going. Was there's a briefing out there. It's called a business briefing, which happens every week on Thursday nights. So I was looking for that. And, was actually, there was that reason, because I knew I would see a lot of my friends that night, but also to spend time with my other friend that I was meeting. And his name is Ryan. So I talked to him that day, and later on that morning I got on the road. And my car isn't the best mechanically, so I stopped in Redding at the airport to rent a car, and someone had driven me there. My future soon-to-be sister-in-law drove me there. And let's see, I got the car, came back to my brother's house, and took a nap for a while because I'd been up all night. And then I got on the road and I went to Santa Cruz and I met up with some other friends. I'm from the Monterey area.
Okay.
So I have lots of friends there, and I stayed the night at a friend's house there and visited with some other friends the next day, and then drove to LA so that I could see my other friend's baby. I'm a photographer. I don't know if I told you that.
I see that the chat is going on about possible dog. Okay, my plan, when I retire, I'm selling the farm, because once I retire, I retire. I'm moving up north, and the breed I've been looking at is this. It's an Alaskan Noble.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Because the family has a cottage up north. I go there every summer, and there's enough land there to build another house. So that is where I would have moved, with broadband and still streaming, of course. So get me more subscribers so I can do this. I think I'm 50 something subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers. So it's moving along. So big thank you to you in the chat who helps promote me, and thank you the various people who for some odd reason joins me on my streams and stuff like that, and it's extremely funny. If you would have told me a year ago I would be doing this, I would have called you a liar, but here I am. And I'm having a blast. So yeah, that's the Alaskan Noble. It's quite a new breed, so it's not ruined in any way.
Good.
So yeah. So yeah. So now everybody knows that. Let's get back to this. That's also a female dog.
But yeah, I'm a photographer. She just recently had a baby, and I'm trying to build my portfolio with, infants and things like that. And she was really excited. Her name is Laura Brewer. She actually never called me back. She did call me back, but she called me back too late. So I couldn't just wait around for her. I had an itinerary.
She was just a friend, or?
She's a really close
Thank
friend.
you,
I dated her
Natalie.
brother for
Thank
about
you.
4 years, so we were
I love you
we're a
too.
lot like
Love all of
family
you.
still.
Oh.
Hang on just a quick second, I'm sorry. Are you still there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my phone, I gotta figure it out. Sorry, I'm just getting out of my car, it's a little distracting.
No problem.
Let's listen to Exhibit 313.
As I said before, this is a bit. It's necessary to enter all of this into evidence. It might be boring to look at. Hopefully, me and Natalie can bring some entertainment out of this.
Well,
But
I
this
was,
is
yeah,
Hmm.
I was just thinking that Nermi looks like, the way he's sitting looks like he's got a freaking hemorrhoid or something. He is just like,
All right, so that's the last time it was like on Monday morning.
Yeah. We agreed that he
I'm
shopped at
sorry,
a
I
store
did
that
not
has
know.
matching tie and shirt
brief,
day
though,
every day.
Like that was a matter of just a few minutes, it wasn't like a really in-depth conversation.
What time it was?
10 o'clock maybe?
10
I'd
p.m.?
say. Yeah, I'd say 10 p.m. or maybe 9 p.m.
I gave myself
9:30,
2
10,
years to get
10:30, something
monetized.
around
It
there.
took 14 weeks.
I guess I
I'm
can
way
go back and
ahead
check.
of any plan I ever had.
Somewhere between then. Yeah, it was late. It was like kind of a late evening. I mean, for us, that's not late, but
What was the purpose of that call?
just call and check in and say hey and let them know just hi.
Okay.
I was just calling people because I was bored and I was on the road.
Oh, so you were on the road at that time?
Yeah, it was real brief. He was nice and cordial, but he was kind of acting like he had hurt feelings because he knows.
Oh, I
Going-
probably.
Ah, Soul Souffle managed to get here as well. Hi.
Hi.
And exhibit number 299.
Well,
Yeah, you have to start somewhere. No, I don't grift much, and when I do, it's for membership because then I can plan ahead. For the channel, better sound, better lighting, and stuff like that. So that's where I am.
I talked to him last Tuesday, and I'm sure I called him. I may have called him Wednesday. I know I called him again from the road twice. I sent him a couple of text messages. I sent him a picture.
Did you actually talk to him though when you were on the road?
Yeah, but it was when
When you first started?
yeah, it was, I did talk to him when I was on the road, but I'm sure that was Tuesday night. And, so I figured he was either in California because he was planning to go there, that week, I think, because I know he was going to California sometime before Cancun because he was going to leave his dog with his grandmother. I didn't know his time.
Do you remember what time on Tuesday night it was that you talked to him?
Oh, it was dark. So I think it was like maybe 10 o'clock, 9:30.
And at that time you were still kind of like, were you still headed to LA area or were you already going to Utah?
Yeah, I was in Pasadena when I talked to him that time. I think I had just left Starbucks or something. I don't remember. I don't know if I had gotten gas yet or what, but I left Starbucks and I was talking to him.
Now, what was the conversation about?
It was really brief. It was 2 or 3 minutes, and I just said, hey, I'm on the road still and going, he knew I was headed to Utah, and I just called because I called my sister, and I think I may have called Ryan. I don't know if I called Nan or not at that point.
You watch her hand.
But,
you know she's
I was
drunk.
waiting around for a while.
For her, like strokes.
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, I said you can tell she's drawing. She's not writing. If you watch her hand, she's making like long lines and stuff, strokes. Looks like she's drawing. She's not writing.
Yeah, she's probably preparing for her prison art career.
Yeah, maybe she's drawn her legs.
Maybe that's the picture
Maybe
David
this
got.
is the picture.
Yeah, that is what I promise. I can keep my legs closed. I promise.
Oh God, though, but that was one of the things about the Mormon nature of this and her affair with Travis is that in Mormon religion, if you're talking about like fornication, it's different. It's if you're having like vaginal intercourse versus anal intercourse. So she and Travis were pretty much just doing it in the butt a lot because this was not his wife. So that's keeping her legs closed, I don't think it's going to make a big difference in that scenario. So.
Yeah, they did use God's loophole quite a bit, but there has been. She was nicknamed the three-hole wonder by Travis. So yeah, exactly. She was the three-hole wonder. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to what length people go to try to keep claiming they are a virgin.
Yep. Whatever you need to tell yourself, babe.
Yeah. Oh.
For Laura, and I didn't know where she lived and couldn't get with her brother because he was at work, and I didn't want to just show up at her house because I hadn't heard back from her. So I was just killing time and called him, talked to him briefly, and that's
about the last time people were able to get a hold of him as well. And then what's unusual is people are saying, we text.
Oh, she was not a virgin anywhere.
The voicemail was full.
Yeah, that's unusual because he deletes messages. Like, he doesn't save anything, even if it's halfway sentimental. Like, he rarely saves that stuff.
So the next time you tried to call him, you weren't able to get a hold of him?
No, I left him a message. And I sent him text messages, and he doesn't always pick up, but he's usually pretty good. And he doesn't always respond to text messages either. But when I didn't hear from him for like 2 days, and I called him again, and I didn't want to be obsessive about it because we're not together anymore. I don't like calling him too much, but he calls me or I call him, and it was a pretty good balance. But at one point, it was like, okay, at what point do I start calling friends that live there? You know, that thought crossed my mind, but I was like, no, he's in California. You know, he's going to Cancun.
I'm going up to 1.25. I once dated a Catholic girl from Northern Ireland, and that was interesting. She was very calm, collected, very chastity until the lights were off. She once nighttime lights off, she more or less tore my cock off. I mean, it was interesting.
Well, hopefully you got it back on.
Let's just. That girl taught me the saying of "Don't put your dick into crazy."
There you go.
Yeah, but it was fun, I must admit. But she didn't stab me.
Really?
So technically, she was a lot better than Jodi Arias. Yeah, we had fun, but not long-term fun. Yeah.
Or a brewer, and how long it will take to get to Utah. And additionally, did you also discuss the route that she may have taken?
Yes.
And take a look at exhibits number 314 and 315. They include that part of the conversation.
No, I said that she more or less tore my cock off.
Exhibits 314 and 315 are admitted.
This is exhibit 315.
Hi, David.
Did you get to meet with her then?
I didn't. So I hung out there for a while at Starbucks and, just refueled and all that. And we talked on the phone for a little bit and then just got on the road and went to Utah. Slept in my car.
That's a long drive from LA.
It's about 9 hours. So yeah, it's actually just as long to go from LA to West Jordan as it is to go from Wairika to LA.
Yeah, this past year there has been a few trials with Mormons or Mormon deviator cults, murder stuff. So I don't know how. Yeah, if it is if pretend chastity makes you murderous or something. I don't know. Oh yeah.
A coffee roll.
Yeah.
Let's see. So the meeting in Utah.
I can't be. There's very few religions I can go to because bacon, coffee, alcohol. I mean, that more or less rules almost everything out.
Went to eat and then slept a little bit longer because I was, before I got on the road. And
Yeah, I can't remember who it was up there in Utah. They called me and they said they knew Travis. They said
If it's decaf, it's not coffee.
there is a luncheon on Wednesday.
In my opinion.
I don't think I went to that. No, I went to some kind of meeting. It was at a restaurant. The restaurant owner's name is Chris, and he was recruited by Brian.
Well, maybe that's what they said. It's kind of like a split up meeting. One day they had like a luncheon, then the other day meetings. That's
Yeah.
what they meant.
Yeah, I don't think I went to lunch.
Okay.
It's like a thing that happens at twice. It's the same kind of deal, only it's set in a restaurant instead of like a business style meeting. Whereas in the meeting, you just kind of sit for an hour and you listen to a presentation for 45 minutes or however long it takes. And the luncheon, you listen to the same thing, but you get to eat lunch. And it's in a restaurant.
So did you ever stop by Vegas on the way up?
I went through Vegas. No, I go there once a year anyway for the pre-K legal thing, and I've never been a gambler or that kind of lifestyle. So no, I just drove through. I went through Boulder City and I went through Vegas. I don't remember all. I think Henderson. Until I went up through. I think it was St. George. It took a while. I was on the phone with the night with Brian that time, but so he could keep me awake. But I still had to pull over anyway. So I mean, I'm not shy about just pulling over wherever and sleeping in my car. Then there's so many times on the road. It is. It's not the smartest thing. I realize that. I usually park my car in a place where I can just drive off if I need to, if I have it backed out instead of, and I have the key to the ignition. I'm ready to go. But either way, it still kind of saves. Anyone could break a window or something. But
This day and age, you get yourself some protection or something. You're driving alone.
I was thinking of that. I know, and I just, I don't know. Yes, I do. But
It's not too difficult. Well, California, I would say it's a little more difficult because at least in Arizona, you don't even have to register any weapons. You just go by.
Really? Well, I've actually looked into handguns because I have a list of things that I'm really scared of that I'm trying to overcome, and that's one of them. And being in front of a public crowd is another. And I was shaking when I sang the national anthem. There was only like 200 people, but I had to hold the mic with both hands. So I was shaking. So actually, I got that from Travis. Just trying to push yourself and get out of your comfort zone and make yourself uncomfortable and do things that you're scared of. And so I've been looking into that, but handguns are expensive, and it's not really in my price range right now. It's not.
Did you then discuss whether or not how long it had been before she heard from the victim after she went to Utah, and also how it was that she heard of the victim's death?
Yes.
Hypocrisy. Yeah.
Take a look at exhibits 300.
That's never happened in a religion before, ever.
97, just click 20.
No, never. It's as rare as the prosecutor doing shady stuff.
Yes.
Look at the exhibit 297 and 300.
Exhibits 300 and 297 are admitted.
Yeah. I believe it's Supreme Court decision, blah, blah, blah. Prosecutor has to go for the truth, not for the for conviction. Yeah, that's.
They're supposed to go for justice.
Yeah.
It's not about the win, it's about justice. So.
Yeah. And that is why I have a 99.5 win rate. Yeah, when 1 in 20, according to the Innocence Project, 1 in 20 convictions in criminal cases are wrongful convictions. So that 99 point blah 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 % means that you're actively prosecuting innocent people and get them convicted. So but it sounds good.
But anyway, what was I saying with that?
Natalie can, yeah, but you can comment on many things that goes on in that county, can you?
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I didn't, is because I knew that it didn't feel like my place any longer to be like his mother and calling.
Not right now.
So you knew about
Silence
his trip.
is golden.
Do you remember him telling you when he was leaving for his trip?
Yeah, because we had discussed dates to travel up here. So I asked that he had said that he was leaving the 10th. I didn't know how long it would be. I don't know if it was 4 or 5 days or 6 days. But I did know that the last we had discussed is his trip up here was going to be after Cancun and before DC, so it would be sometime toward the end of June. And it would probably be a 4-day thing for me, or a 3-day thing, but longer for him because he was traveling along the California coast and then on to Washington.
Okay, so he was going to leave the 10th, and when was he going to come back?
I don't know exactly. I know that they're
recruit can be with the MLM thing. She was recruited into the MLM. I'm not sure who that is.
That was the other prosecutor in the Rittenhouse
Oh.
trial.
Okay. Oh, so he quit or were convinced to quit?
He actually went to the Department of Justice. He is a special prosecutor for Len bias cases. So he only does Len bias cases, and he does them all over the state.
Yay! Well, congratulations to him for his promotion, I guess.
No, it's a different agency, so I guess it would be an upward move in a different agency.
Well, when did you first find out what happened to him?
Dan called me.
Dan who?
Dan Freeman, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Dan Freeman.
He called me Monday. I think it was Monday night, but it was more like, I think it was late Monday night, like 11 something. And he said, hey, how are you doing? I was like, Dan, because I had been thinking about him, and I was planning my trip to Arizona, and he was definitely on my list of people to visit. I love him and his family. I used to go there every Sunday for dinner. And I said, hey, how are you doing? He's like, great. I said, hey, I'm thinking about making a trip out there. And he's like, yeah, I think you're going to have to. And I was like, yeah. You know, there was a pause. He's like, and then he's like, yeah, it's just about Travis. And I was like, what? You know, like, that's never good.
Yeah,
but,
the way you said that, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I didn't think anything at first. I mean, it's just kind of, well, okay, what? You know, we don't want to assume too soon. And he said,
Len bias.
Like, what does that mean? Well, I don't know. Well, what do you mean you don't know?
So
Yeah.
Len bias is a specific type of case. Len bias was a basketball player. And so Len bias cases have to do with overdoses and whether or not, like what the cause of actual death is, things like that. It's kind of complicated and technical, but it is Len bias, LENBIAS. If you just Google Len bias, you find out more about it.
Okay, thank you.
What do you know? Well, I don't really know anything right now. I just know that Brent Hyde is at his house and Taylor Searle is at his house and that the cops are there. And I was totally shocked. I don't think that I said much. I think that I just kept thinking maybe there's a mistake. Maybe there's a mistake. Are you sure? And he didn't really know, so I kept saying that maybe there's just a mistake. He couldn't say anything. He didn't give me any information, so I thought, he said I was the first person that thought of the call, but I think he called a couple other leaders in Travis' business first that were close with him. I don't remember who he called or what order, but he called me, and I keep thinking that maybe that they just made a mistake. And like I felt so helpless because I wasn't there. If I still lived there, I was like 10 minutes away, not even 10, maybe 7 minutes away. I could have just driven there, and found out and saw what was going on. I just felt totally helpless.
What did you think about? I mean, the last time you talked to him was what? Was it Monday or Wednesday? What was that?
I think it was Tuesday evening. I think. Yeah, Tuesday night.
Yeah. Did you think of what was going on the last time you talked to him? Did you try to get a hold of him after that?
Yeah, I did. I tried to get a hold of him. I called him Tuesday night. I called him subsequently and emailed him a couple times.
Exhibit 297 is already in evidence, but
Okay, YF head says, don't mean to sound stupid. Can I ask what Natalie does? Is she a legal eagle?
I'm an attorney. I'm a criminal defense attorney in Wisconsin. And I was one of Kyle Rittenhouse's criminal trial attorneys, and I am currently one of his civil attorneys as well. So,
Yeah. Okay, so now you have that answer. I wasn't aware. When you are in this little bubble of lawyers and law tube and stuff, you get the notion that everybody knows who you are, but sometimes people show up, who's that one? And yeah, and I get that question in my chat. Oh, who are you? Well, hi, I'm a Swedish I'm a Swedish union rep. I do labor law, and now I'm streaming trials because I want to learn more about the US legal system, have input from my point of view, from the European Union point of view, Swedish point of view, because we use it's so different here because we don't have euros. Our due process is a bit different, so it's very, very interesting, and I hopefully my input can somewhat teach Americans alternative. I know that I threw Steve Gosney a curveball regarding when we streamed about comparing weak DNA evidence or weak DNA evidence versus strong DNA evidence. So that was quite fun to throw in that curveball because he wasn't ready for it. So I hope, and it led to something really interesting because now Zachariah Anderson's defense team, or at least his brother, have contact with an actual DNA expert from Florida that has looked into this. But then again, they need cash. The Zachariah Anderson Defense Fund. It's a gives and go. I'm sure people in the chat can give you the link to that because just the transcript from the Zachariah Anderson case is 2 terabytes. And every page cost money. And so far, they just passed $16,000, and more or less half, if not 2/3 of that, will be to just get the transcripts, because without it, they can't appeal. That's just the way it is. But let's finish day 4 here. It's
Is that the one that essentially-
we're almost done with that day.
As well as whether or not the defendant sent her condolences to the family.
Yes.
I move for the admission of this. I'm sorry, I'll move it.
297 is admitted.
Is there anything else that you can remember or think of, or any theories or anything that can help us?
I just don't know. Travis was a friend to everybody, and
Yeah.
Yep.
even when things were bad between us, he would give his last dollar, his last whatever. He was selling me his BMW, and I was actually supposed to email.
Yeah, I mentioned that to kind of
Yeah.
burned it out or something.
Oh, you said he found my check in his house.
Check.
Oh
yeah,
I
check
read-
that you gave
no,
for payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is so dumb. Like, it seems so unimportant, but I guess I need to know if that check is going to be deposited anytime soon.
No. Once
I
you know,
sent him a
after
check
death,
too.
it can't be positive. So
Really?
yeah.
Okay, well then I'll just consider that whatever, and then I'll still owe the full balance until we figure out what they're going to do. Honestly, I trashed his car, and he took it so well. We were trying to figure out between my lawyers and his lawyers.
Who is
That
this woman?
That is the victim's sister.
Oh, that's Travis's sister? Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez,
She's-
look. She's got a very angular face, I guess.
She could stab someone with that cheekbone. Yeah.
Lawyers and prepaid legal and the insurance and U-Haul who was going to be held liable. And, it didn't matter who was held liable. The fact was that was a debt that I had promised to pay, and it's just money, and it wasn't worth, anything. So, as far as getting any contentions over, so, he never had any doubt that I'd pay him back, but he was trying, and this is what's difficult, is he was trying to work with the insurance to hold U-Haul accountable for how it had all gone down. The engine just blew up.
Now the vehicle was still in his name, correct?
Yeah, he was going to hold the title until I paid him the balance in full.
Did you guys have a written contract or anything? Or?
What I did is I typed out an email to him and I sent it, and I just wrote back, reply, I agree if you agree with this. And he wrote back something about you didn't say you're on insurance, and so okay, so I amended that, I think, and then wrote back to him, and so that was our agreement. Our agreement was I pay him what I can each month until the balance is paid off, and I take care of general maintenance like oil changes and tires and things like that.
I don't know what's going on with his car or anything. I think it's still at the shop, but his family.
I think it's just sitting there collecting dust.
Yeah, his family's dealing with it because right now it's still considered one of his assets, and it goes.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, and I was told, and I probably should have done this, but I didn't know who to get hold of or who was doing what, and I should have asked Dan first, but I emailed his sister, Tanisha, on MySpace, and I was like, I just sent her my condolences, and then the next paragraph was like, it's really hard, but I owe Travis this amount of money, and I know that at one point I'll need to settle this debt, that kind of thing. And if you need to be in contact with me about this, is my phone number, and she didn't get back to me, and I don't, I don't.
When a death occurs like this, everything's got to go to probate anyways.
Yeah, and I realize now that there's Mike Chapman is the executor of his will, and so I did get in touch with him yesterday, and he said, just give me all the information you have on that matter, and then we'll go from there and decide what's going to happen.
Mr. Martinez, we're going to take the evening recess at this time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow morning, 10:25, please be here. We will start promptly at 10:30. Please remember the admonition. Have a nice evening. You are excused.
Let's see if they have anything to. There's a bit too little time.
All right, council, 10:15 tomorrow in chambers. And Deputy Nasseri is here at 10:15 tomorrow. All right, thank you.
10:15.
Okay.
A late start to me. But
Yeah, some of these days I have,
Our
for
short days,
instance, yeah. So this 4 hours and 30 minutes, but this video has most of the breaks taken away.
okay.
But other days are just 2.5 hours because there was a lot of breaks and stuff like that. Yeah, so this was the end of day 4. And so far, standard stuff. Getting things into evidence, the interview played for the jury, entered into evidence. So far, well, today, no pictures. A bit of bloody clothing, but no pictures. Yeah. Not the most interesting, sadly, but that's trials.
Mhm.
Not all days are filled with matlock moments. Few trials have matlock moments. And that might be one of the reasons why people watch the true crime stories, because they have everything condensed into 30 minutes to an hour. I enjoy the actual trials because I want to learn stuff. Today, I might not have learned that much, but it's still interesting to absorb for me as an outsider. And because our system is the lower court is 1 judge and 4 layman judges, so to speak. Or you can call them layman judges or professional jurors.
Yeah, I've heard you mention the professional jurors before.
Yeah, and then on appellate court, still it's a panel of judges, but some appellate also have professional jurors in. It depends, because we differentiate the civil courts from the criminal courts, and then we have specialty courts, like in my case with labor law. We have a special. After the lower courts, we have a specialty court to go to. But in 30 plus years, less than 5 cases wasn't solved with negotiations. So, and then we have other people for that. So I'm rarely in court for any other reasons than to just get every document together. The nice board with we need that picture with that evidence with that witness, stuff like that. That is normally, because I kind of show with my face what I think of something, which is handy in negotiations, not so handy in trials.
Well, it depends on the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have an expressive face too, which is a problem.
So yeah, thank you so much for showing up today. I hope you can join in on other times when either me or David are preoccupied, because it's Tuesdays, Saturdays, always.
Mhm.
And
Tuesdays are a little bit harder just because Tuesdays are generally busier court days. My busier court days are usually Monday and Tuesday. But Saturday afternoons, well, this weekend, say my boyfriend is at a paintball tournament. So that's why I was like, I've got the whole day. Sure, I'll do this. But as long as I know about things, I can get him to do something else. He just likes hanging out with me too much. So I feel bad sometimes. I'm like, don't sit there and stare at me like you want to hang out with me. I'm doing something on the internet.
we have a question here from Julia. Natalie, any cases coming up in Kenosha that will be streamed by LNC or Court TV? Not just
I have
where.
no idea. Sorry. I
Well,
don't. You could ask them. I have no idea how they decide what they do. So
yeah, but I'm not sure. But most court dates is at least on Zoom, so you can watch in Kenosha.
it depends upon the judge and everything. So there's also more than just Kenosha being available to watch on Zoom. There is Wisconsin has it's kind of like Pacer, if people know what Pacer is, which is a search portal for federal court. Something similar Wisconsin has is CCAP. It's CCAP. And there are links to, so anything that is live streamed in court, it started with COVID, has to be available to the public. They couldn't close things off. So they would have live stream channels of court so you could watch them at the time. Some courts have maintained doing that. Other ones haven't. If courts are streaming at all, it's supposed to be also available on the public, but you can just watch Wisconsin court stuff for fun if you can find the website. The ability to watch it really depends upon the county, like I said, but there's lots of stuff in Milwaukee County, other stuff like that. I mean, I know people like Judge Borofsky from the Edgecombe trial. You actually might be able to watch him do regular court stuff. I don't know if his court's streamable or not, but yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you are also in the defense team for the Rittenhouse civil case.
Yes.
And now I know you can't discuss much about that, but is there? Well, it's hard to say if there is a trial coming on.
Yeah, and the most recent thing that happened was we consolidated for the purposes of discovery, because there were two cases. There's one by Anthony Huber's estate and one by Gage Grosskreutz. We've now consolidated both for discovery purposes. It's still very, very early on in the process because regardless of the fact that they were filed a long time ago, the original actions, there wasn't any service of Kyle or anything done until more recently. So those things are more starting to pick up now.
Yeah, and Grosskopf is the guy who got his arm shot off.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the guy. When you watch the trial, that moment in the trial when they showed the video of him pointing the gun at Kyle's head. That was a Matlock moment.
That really was. You don't get very many of them that often as an attorney, and that one was great.
Yeah, and I have a hard time, but you never know with civil suits because then you have a whole new set of rules, and is that a 50-50 with a feather? And so it's good luck to your defense, to you and to Kyle.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So today though is my mother's birthday. So everyone send good love vibes to Angela. It's her birthday today.
Yeah. Congratulations to Natalie's mom for her birthday. Yay!
She made it another year.
Yay! And Well, for this channel, David has his channel. I'm not entirely sure what he will be covering the next couple of weeks. But apart from the Jodi Arias, I am covering the YSL gang RICO trial, Young Slime Life, and it is a clusterfuck.
That's any RICO case is always a clusterfuck, and that case is even more so.
Yeah, there are still people a year later who still haven't got their representation.
Mm.
The state has decided that because the public defender's office of sorts, well, they can't defend very many of these 28 defendants, or they are down to 11 now.
Because otherwise it's a conflict. So they have to have outside people agree to take it.
Yeah, and they have concluded, we are going to pay these extra lawyers $15,000. That's it. And I mean,
not even pay to review the discovery in a RICO case. If you think about hourly, the amount of discovery in a RICO case is going to be so large.
Yeah, and the trial will go on for at least 6 months. And $15,000 that's ridiculous. Because in my head, if you are a prosecutor or the state or people, if you bring forward a RICO case, then you have an obligation, at least in my head, to fund the defense, because it was your choice to bring a RICO case. And it's amazed that a year in they still. And I was on with Sean, potential criminal, joined me. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Or was it the day before? I don't remember. And apparently in Georgia, there's a guy who's been in jail for 10 years without bond, still awaiting trial. 10 years.
That's insane and outrageous.
Yeah. And apparently that is a huge issue in Georgia with they are just jailing people and let them wait. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's interesting. Another thing that I have been going on, because I don't know if that trial will start next week, next month, or next year, because it is a clusterfuck. So I have decided to get a little head start of this, and I'm going to show you the trailer, whatever. Yeah, here it is. Yeah.
When I first moved to Milwaukee, so Marquette Law School is actually like a mile or mile and a half from where Dahmer lived. So I lived like 2 blocks from where Dahmer was killing people for a year.
Ooh.
Yeah. Granted, it was 2 decades afterwards, but
yeah. But I found the entire trial, so I am going to have coverage of that trial maybe not every Sunday because work, but at least maybe 3 out of 4 Sundays, not an exact time, but because this is 30 years ago, that trial, just to see what has happened since then, what actually went on, because most people have seen the Netflix documentary or they have watched some true crime stuff, 30 minutes to an hour. I want to watch the trial to see what actually happened in it. And
if you want to see, if you ever feel like coming to Milwaukee, I can show you where it happened. So
that would be.
They actually have like haunted tours, like haunted ghost tours type of thing. They have like a Dahmer one. So
Okay.
it's quite morbid, but it is a thing.
Yeah. That would be really, really interesting. And if my channel takes off, and because more memberships and a few super chats, that is what keeps the channel going. But if more people get into this channel, I saw for the month of June in advertising revenue, it was, let's see here. It's from the month of May.
That I used to live near a Cops. Somebody asked about Cops frozen custard. I will eat Cops for you just because you said that, Julia.
For the entire month of May, I made $12 from advertising. So yeah, streaming trials, not many companies. For instance, we are now watching the Jodi Arias-trial, and I doubt that Kodak would want to sponsor with an ad. I mean,
I don't know, maybe like Clorox wipes, clean up.
Yeah.
Well, because that's something actually I was thinking earlier when you first started the stream with the woman who was talking about the portion of wall that had been removed for her handprint to take out the handprint, is something that people don't realize is the cops don't clean up after themselves.
No.
So they cut a piece out of the wall there and walked away. So you could do lots of things like partners with contractors. So when the police tear out your drywall to get a piece of evidence, hire Bob,
Yeah, and if it's a raid, they walk in, they tear everything apart, even if they find nothing. Now you have a house that is torn apart.
Yep, then you got to clean it up.
Yeah, it's always fun. But we will continue with the Jodi Arias-trial on Tuesday, and Tuesdays and Saturdays, 6 p.m. my time, noon Eastern time. I'm not sure what that is where you are. Well, you are Eastern time. No, okay, you're Central time. Okay, so and I hope you can show up more some other time.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Sorry about my pug snorting right now. I don't know if you can hear him, but if you hear them, he says bye.
And if you ever choose to start a channel of your own, I hope you can invite me on.
I would, but sounds like so much work. I just like hanging out. You guys can do all the work, and I just chill.
Yeah, it is. I know.
It's so much work.
Yeah, because maybe now when I'm everything is lined up with the Jodi Arias-trial and we found all the videos and stuff like that. Yes, now we are getting into a groove of things, but it took us about a month to get everything together to this point, me and David, or mostly David, because I'm in Sweden. If I want court papers, they won't give it to me because I'm US. So so I'm very happy. Been a pleasure to have you on to explain a few things, and thank you so much.
Yes,
and thank you for the chat.
Hopefully you won't be up until 6 a.m. today, but
no. I had about 4 hours of sleep, so we'll try to get to bed in a proper time tonight, because tomorrow is a new day. It's Sunday, and it's Sunday. Let's leave it with that.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, Natalie, and thank you, chat, and thank you everybody for showing up. And I'm going to send you off with, as usual, the Jodi Arias trailer, and then I will send you all off. Oh wait, I will see if someone else is streaming, so I can send you off to somebody. Dun, dun, dun. Good work, Nicholas, being prepared. Why are you buffering? What's going on now? No. There. Customization. Oh, come on. Oh, Salvador is getting ready. Okay, I hope I will do a redirect. I have Salvador. I don't have his channel. I can't find his channel. Well, if you want to go to Sal's, then go over to him. Oh, Daddy Talks. Thank you. He hasn't have redirect privileges on, I think. Dali Talks. No, I can't find him here. Sorry. So go over to him, and I will do a redirect to Kurt. On Civil Law is doing Cooking with Kurt. So I will send you off to him. Say hi from me. And yeah, I'm going to send you off with the trailer. And I'll see you all tomorrow or Tuesday. Bye.